My name is Vanessa, and today I'm going to be talking about token economies and how effective they are in modifying classroom behavior. So, the research paper that I have decided to focus on is one by Lynn Curtis of Caldwell University. So, the reason as to why I chose this is first of all, it was a very current research paper. It was published in 2015. I think currency is a very important aspect because if we know that a research paper is current, we can relate it to the context of our work today. The title of this study is The Effects of a Token Economy on the Inappropriate Behaviors of Kindergarten Students with Autism. Initially, before conducting this research, I had actually believed that the token economic system was effective anyways. I believed this because personally, when I was in primary school, the token economic system was enforced as well. And when it was enforced, it really motivated the students to achieve something because they had aims. So because of these aims, they wished to better themselves. But this study that I have researched about is more interesting because it doesn't focus on just regular classrooms. I believe that if we just focus on regular classrooms, the results will tend to be more consistent because we're focusing on variables that don't really change. But because we're focusing on 5-year-old children with autism, the token economic system and its validity and how it modifies a classroom behavior can be analyzed even deeper. The aim of this research was to determine the effects of the token economy for children with special needs in a kindergarten classroom. The hypothesis is basically that a token economy in a classroom for children with special needs will help decrease the child's spontaneous and disruptive behavior by giving them a reward to anticipate. So in this research, the main participants are these two boys. Two of them are 5 years old, and both of them are artistic, but they have different variations of autism. Participant A emits tantrum-like behaviors, so he'll shout or he can't control his anger. When he doesn't get something, he'll scream, he'll yell. The next participant we have is participant E. Participant E's form of autism is that he emits out-of-seat behaviors. Out-of-seat behaviors is basically when someone cannot sit still in their seat. So this little boy in the middle of class, he would get up randomly, spontaneously, or he would just get up and play toys when it wasn't free time. He just never really sat still for a long time. They both have aspects that disrupt learning behavior. It's not just about academic achievement and how well they can progress academically with the token economic system, but it's also how well they can monitor their behavior so that learning can take place nicely without disruption. Before the procedure took place, the consent forms were given to their parents to sign. There was also behavior charts given to the researchers to note down the students' behaviors and if it was good or bad, if they were disruptive, if they met the intervals. So it was largely observational. It was largely based on what the observers interpreted as bad behavior or disruptive behavior for each of the different participants. What would be considered as disruptive behavior for participant A did not hold the same for participant E. So the method that was used for this study was that the observers or the researchers would observe the behaviors of participant A and E. For 2-minute intervals, they were to not produce disruptive behaviors. For instance, participant A was not to emit any tantrum-like behaviors, and for participant E, he was not to partake in any out-of-seat behaviors, and if they could maintain this behavior for the length of 2 minutes, then they would be rewarded with 1 token. They needed a total of 10 tokens to receive their reward, which is an activity that the participants chose themselves. Every morning, the participants are actually reminded of the fact that they have to earn their tokens and that a token will result in a reward if they earn enough of it. So it's believed that because these children know how to attain those tokens and that they know that they will get rewarded for attaining these tokens, they'll emit better behavior because it's something they chose themselves, an activity they choose themselves. This phase of intervention took place for about 6 weeks where their behavior was always monitored every time they went to school. So for participant A, what happened was that he wasn't very good at controlling his anger, so he would emit tantrum-like behaviors when he couldn't control the situation, such as if someone bumped into him, he would cry and get angry, or if he couldn't win at something. And so it was harder for participant A to really acknowledge the token economy and how he should behave when he was in those phases of anger. Initially, for participant A, the token economic system did not really prove successful. But after participant A got used to the fact that he would be rewarded for the activity of his choice in the end, by weeks 3 and 4, his behavior dramatically improved, and he really behaved himself a lot more and didn't emit much tantrum-like behaviors, he did become better because of the understanding that he would receive a token. For participant E, however, he did very well at the beginning of the intervention. Participant E responded very well because he was very excited about the reward that he would get. So during the first few weeks, participant E emitted less out-of-seat behaviors, and he was very excited to get the reward. Contrary to participant A, however, participant E's behavior slowly deteriorated after weeks 5 and 6. Participant E just stopped being so patient. He didn't want to wait 10 more tokens for the reward and such, and he wanted it instantly. All this led to more disruption in the classroom and such. And in the end, the researchers and the teachers believed that it was best to cease this intervention for participant E because it was just working out too badly in the end. So the conclusion is that the token economic system did work. Although it didn't work for participant E and it worked for participant A, it did work at the beginning for participant E actually. He did emit better behavior at the beginning when he knew he was about to get reinforcement, but he just gradually started becoming more impatient and it wore off and it just didn't work anymore. But strangely, participant A, it didn't work at the beginning. It took time to get used to, and when he understood the concept more gradually, he became more patient. Ultimately, I would say that judging from this research, the token economy system does work to some length, to some extent. It's valid to say that the token economy system does modify classroom behavior. Perhaps because we can see that participant A and participant E both reacted differently, we can say that the token economic system will only work if we identify with each specific individual and understand what kind of reinforcements they need. Majority of classrooms tend to enforce token economic systems on the whole of the classes together. This may not be so efficient as we can see from the conclusion of the research because different motives work for different types of students depending on their demands, how they work, their personalities. We have to focus on the students as individuals rather than saying that the token economic system in general just works for the demographic as a whole. We also have to understand that with every experiment there are limitations. So for this experiment there are two major limitations. The first is that there are only 2 participants. Can we apply our findings on 2 participants to the larger demographic of other classrooms, other personalities, other students? The answer is probably not. The second very important limitation is that during this time that the research was actually conducted in, where the intervention took place, in the 6-week period, it did briefly stop for a bit because of holidays. By the time they came back, there was a lapse in the routine and the time as well. So that also plays a major role in the limitation. This research that I've chosen really highlights the effects of what a token economic system can do to different individuals. It also highlights how the token economic system can wear off sometimes or how it can later develop to become stronger. So it's very interesting to see how different people react to the token economic systems. Thank you for listening. So with that, I conclude my oral presentation on the token economic system and its effect on modifying classroom behavior.